up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie. I was 6 hours late still.
Oh my goodness. Once again, man. Once again,
welcome.
They don't know. For them, I'm right on time. What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to Spitballin. And I'm on time. I'm here. Now, if you really want to say I'm late, then I think you need to you got to start the podcast without me and then have me join. Then
Man, I can't sit out here by myself for 6 hours.
6 hours, really? Dude, you didn't give me a chance to get settled. I'm all like, I'm flustered and sweating.
Yeah, man. I got shit to do. Things are going on. You like my look, Reg? It's hot as hell, dude.
Yeah, I see. I was like, yo, you're just going for it today, huh? You ain't even trying.
I feel like I could play like some guy down on the bayou, like, yeah, I reckon find some good shrimp in them waters.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Yeah, I tell you that.
You got that look. You do. You got that look right now. Actually, I'm a little disheveled right now too, because it is hot as Hades, bro.
There's no way it's hotter up in Oakland than it is down here.
Dude, what are you talking about? It's like right now in Oakland, what is it? It's right now in Oakland, I think it's 91.
Y'all hear that? 91. That ain't shit.
And what is it in LA?
99, I think. It hit 106 earlier in the week, bro. How stupid is that?
That's ridiculous. That ain't even right. That makes me feel like God hates us.
Yeah, it's like it's so hot. Yeah, like you don't even, the air doesn't even, like the air works, but you feel hot outside the house. You feel like the sun's on the roof.
Oh, dude, the sun is directly on us. Like this is
right.
It's like living in a heat lamp right now, living under a heat lamp.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the app right now, what the weather says. All right, well, it's a little lower now. It's 95. It's cooled down. But it's weird today. Weird because, like, it's cloudy, so it's really, like, hot, and it feels like it's an oven.
Let me see what it is.
Keeping everything inside. And it's windy. So it's weird when you'll have hot wind blow on you. I'm like, what is this? It's like a dragon breathing on me outside.
That's funny. Hot wind. Hot wind is actually, you know what? I'm sorry, bro. In Oakland, I just looked at it. It's 80.
Man, you're bitching about 80 degrees. Come
on, man. It's hot is hot, man. I don't care what you say. Hot is hot. Shoot, hot is hot. Don't try to downplay my heat.
That's
my heat situation
weak,
is for real.
Reg. That's
my heat
sauce.
My heat 80? Situation. Yeah.
80.
Yeah, it's hot inside right now.
Can you hear this fan? I got a fan going. I don't care if people can hear it. It's too hot.
I couldn't hear it until you said something.
Now everyone's focused on it. And
now it sounds like white noise.
Yeah,
dude, I gotta find a way to elevate this computer, bro, because my line of sight is down. I feel like everyone's watching me look down.
I don't feel that. You look like you look normal.
Well, I didn't say I look abnormal. I'm just
your head looks the same big size as it always does, so I think it looks right.
You know what they say about men with big heads? They got big hats. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I know, dude. You borrow one of mine, you stretch it out and ruin it. I can't even afford that. Reggie has to get like the extra snaps. You got extra snaps on the back?
Nah, man. You know what I used to say? I used to say about my buddy with a big head. I was like, man, this dude head so big, he can't even wear those hats that say one size fit all.
I used to do. I mean, this shit was crazy. I used to work at the ballpark, right, Reg?
Right.
And I was, I was hanging out on this one dude, and I was like the only white dude working in the kitchen, right? And this dude had a big. He was a side pastor. He wanted to be a pastor, right? Okay. A lot of these dudes lived, in East Cleveland, and he had a big head, though. I forgot his name. He had a big head. But my friend and I, Carter, we'd make fun of how big your head is. We start calling him Jupiter Head.
Damn. You call this man a planet head? That ain't right, bro.
So then, he would, stand in the kitchen grabbing something. And I go, hey, Carter, what am I doing? And I just start walking around him. And I'm like, I'm stuck in his orbit.
That's actually really good.
I'm bringing in, science jokes, but... Yeah, Jupiter Head, we used to call him.
And where is
Big
he
head.
now? Now, does he work for NASA now? Is he?
No, dude, he was. I don't think so, bro. He was.
No,
I don't know. I don't know what happened to any of the guys I worked with, man. It
dude. You should go on
sucks.
a. You should go on a
It's
deep
hard to find
exploration.
because I don't know of all their last names. And the one guy I was good friends with, he has the most common name, Dwan Smith. So you're not. I can't ever find him.
Dewan Smith is a common
Yeah.
name. Smith is a common name.
Smith, yeah,
Dewan.
but I can't. I haven't found him online or anything. I mean, maybe he's gone on there lately, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know anyone from my ballpark days.
Dang, man, I
I
can't
know. I
believe
know a
that.
couple cats. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I know a couple cats who are in the suburbs. I know one guy. He's in Cincinnati. This woman, she's in Cleveland or the West Side. They've played trivia and they've hung out. So I know a couple of folks, but the guys who lived downtown in Cleveland, there, I don't know what happened to a lot of them.
That sucks. It'd be kind of maybe we should both go on an exploration and see if we can find some people from my past. I could look for a couple guys that I played. Actually, I know some guys that I played with at San Jose City. I'm friends with them on Facebook, right? Like I know one guy for sure. He and I only played together our freshman year, and then he went back to Chicago. And there was a guy that I played with my sophomore year, and after that, he was a freshman, but after his freshman year, he went back to Houston. There's another guy I played with my sophomore year. He ended up going back, but he hurt himself and went back to Hawaii. So I still keep in touch with him. I'm in touch with a couple guys, man. I have to admit, I know what some of these dudes are.
I can
There's
see
one
you
guy in
doing that.
particular. You know me. There's one guy in particular that that I am not in touch with, but I'm kind of curious to see where he is and what happened. I know he ended up going to out of city. He ended up going to Stanislaus State. He had a scholarship. But prior to, or at least partial, because I don't think they give up full scholarships. I think it's D2. But he was being recruited by San Diego State, right?
Mm-hmm.
We went to this camp between my freshman year and my sophomore year. We went to this JC camp in Bakersfield, and coach was trying to get him to transition him to the point guard position because he was playing like the small forward position, like the same position I was playing. And coach had already basically said, like, you're not playing over. Like, he didn't tell him you're not going to play over me, but he was like, yo, in order for you to get some time, we need to get you got to play a different position, right? Like, you're not going to play Reg at that position. So we'll transition you to something else. So he transitioned him to point guard. And we had a kid on our team named Vincent Barnett, went by Vino. Vino was about 6'5", long, athletic, super athletic. Coming out of JC, this dude had scholarship offers to University of Cincinnati, Bob Huggins, the Bearcats, New Mexico State, San Jose State, UTEP. He had a lot of schools, right? He ended up going to Cincinnati, and that's another story. But this dude had at least a 40, maybe a 42, 43-inch vertical. It was something crazy. He could fly. Well, this kid, the coach is transitioning to the point guard position, would just come down. I mean, he'd take 2 dribbles past half court and just lob it to Vino. So he looked like all world. He'd get the ball in bounds, dribbling down, boom, like putting passes on the money. But Vincent can make a bad pass look good. Like he could catch something back here and be like,
it's like the Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans thing. He made him look good. Now Mike Evans is a star in the NFL. Johnny ain't even in the league.
Okay, so there you go. So all these coaches, and I remember being there, dude, every game, every time we took the court, you look around and you saw, you know, at that time being young and seeing all these guys in these polo shirts, you're just looking at the name on the shirt, right? University of Cal, whatever, you know, University of this, Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, Radford, Stephen F. Austin, Texas, UTEP, Texas Tech, Portland, Seattle, whatever you want, Oregon, right? So going into our sophomore year, he was getting recruited by San Diego State. They were like, okay, yeah, we're looking for a point guard. We saw this kid. And I had a good weekend. It was fine. Like I didn't excel in those type of settings because almost like all-star game settings where everyone's just kind of showcasing their talent.
Right.
When you're a team player, when you're the guy who's passing the ball and then the dude is doing a thing and whatever, right? No one's looking at the guy who passed the ball, right? When you get the rebound and you outlet it to whoever.
Like if you know, no one's known for their passing. Like Magic Johnson or something isn't real. But
Yes,
wait,
or
I mean, no,
LeBron, or
yeah,
LeBron,
no,
or
you're right.
John Stockton, or Jason
If you're
Kidd,
that
right?
great of a passer, no one
Right.
will ever know.
Exactly. So long story short, I
Long story indeed.
long story indeed. Basically, we go back to season starts. San Diego State comes out to watch this kid, and just whatever they got to see him in a different situation. I'm not gonna critique his style of play or what happened, good or bad. I'll just say I don't think he was a good fit for what they were looking for at that time, and their gaze changed from him to me. And they started recruiting me heavily. I mean,
Well, this
big
is
time.
before you went to St. Mary's.
This was, yes.
Okay, so this is when you had your choice. This is when you were at San Jose State.
No, this is when I was in San Jose City, living at San Jose State.
Wow.
But they recruited me. They were recruiting me so heavily that, like, I went on a visit and I signed.
And then you backed out. That's right. You talked about that.
No, I didn't back out. They didn't tell me my mom had to sign the scholarship, right? Because I thought because I was over 18. So they sent me another scholarship, then the head coach left and went somewhere else, and then I was supposed to go to Pepperdine.
That's right. Then you had an out.
And then I had an out, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up going to St. Mary's. But I want to look for this kid because, a part of that journey was they were coming to look at him and then they saw me, which happens all the time, right? Somebody's coming to check out.
What happened to him? Did he end up playing somewhere?
Well, he ended up not going. He didn't go D1. He ended up going to Stanislaus State, which is like a D2 school, which I thought
that's where John Steinbeck used to write.
Okay. And based on, based on his size, he was fairly athletic, but based on his size, he's about 6'3", not super athletic at all, but he's an athlete, but not super athletic. Mm-hmm. But based on what he was doing, I thought D2 was probably like a good fit for him, right? I didn't think he was like a D1 caliber player.
So you don't know where he is, huh?
No, I remember where he grew up. I know what high school he went to. I know his whole name. Hell, I know his family name. Yeah.
Here's the old crew.
Oh my goodness. Look at you in the middle. For a minute, that guy's arm looked like your leg. I was like, what's wrong with your leg?
I know. I get the stonewashed white jeans. So
holy cow.
All right, so this is me in the middle with my flannel. This is DeJuan Smith right behind me. It kind of looks like Ice Cube. He had the shades on. Okay. Look at this terrible backdrop they got.
That's the worst backdrop ever.
You had to pay $10 to go to this. So this guy I went to high school with, he was just hanging out. This is Randy. And this guy I worked with is Joe. He was a little weird dude. He's a quite weird dude. So then let's see. This is Keith. This is Hytham. He used to live across the street from me. We got the job together. Brian, Daniel. This is Ray the cook. I forget this guy. He only worked 1 year. And this is Isaac. Isaac was cool. So Isaac, he's an older gentleman here. Not older. He was older than us. I was like 19, 20, 21, 22. He was like, I think I worked at us 21. He was like probably 30. But anyway, this dude, I remember one time Viagra just came out and he talked about taking a Viagra and he's like, man, it won't go down. It just goes forever. He's like, I don't know. So I used to work with.
That's back when they were like, if you have an erection for 4 hours, call.
Yeah, and all these
go to the hospital.
Like, let me just take it because it sounds cool. So it was so funny though. We used to. I never forget this. We would go to the desserts were upstairs and we'd have to take them and they could or we'd grab beer from upstairs and then we shared the cooler with the desserts.
Okay.
And then I don't know if I told this, but this is the guy, but they had to have these brownie cakes and he would take the little brownie off the cake and then just eat it, which then fucks up the whole slice because then you can't sell it, right? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he was like, those brownies are so good. He's like, gosh, that brownie's so good to make you come on yourself.
Oh my God.
So. I was like, damn.
Oh my God.
And he's right, really. Those brownies are pretty good.
He was right. Those brownies, it made me mess myself. I had an orgasm. That's funny.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened to a lot of these cats, dude. I don't know.
Man, I gotta tell you right now, I don't know how I feel about these 3 white guys in the front surrounded by black dudes in the back. I don't know.
I remember this dude, Keith. So this is the thing. Everyone, you want a little history here.
He's holding. You see what he's doing with his right hand.
Yeah, he's got like a gang signal. So that was DeJuan's cousin. He was a little sketchy. I don't know. He was only there like a year also.
Dude, that you know what gang sign that is, right?
Is that Crips?
No, not the Crips.
No, I don't know what that is.
That's
What is that?
Disciples.
How
That's
do
the
you
Disciples.
really? What is that? Is that a Cleveland gang?
Nah, Disciples they started in Illinois. They out of Chicago.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
we're not too far.
Yeah.
So I remember the OJ verdict came up, and when I was working there, and it was like I don't even remember what I said, but I suggested that he was guilty.
Oh
And
boy.
man, dudes got pissed. Man, Keith was all like, "Hey, man, I know what the fuck you talking about, man. You fucking Gilly's fucking innocent, man. What the fuck you talking about?" I was like, I was just, it's like evidence, but all right, my bad. I'll go back to work.
That whole time period was so crazy, man, because black people felt like white people been getting away with murder for centuries, killing black people, killing black people on a whim for nothing, right? And so when that whole thing happened, it was almost like black people was like, yo, this is our turn to get away with some heinous shit.
Yeah, like Chris Rock said that. He's like, we won. He said, what the fuck did we win?
Exactly. We didn't win anything. Nobody won anything in that situation. Oh, you know what? Speaking of OJ, there's a guy that I work with who was friends and knew Ron Goldman. Showed me pictures of he and Ron hanging out at different parties and was friends with him.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of blew me away. I was like, what the hell? He's like, at the time, Ron was living with his best friend in LA. And he grew up this guy grew up in Thousand Oaks, used to promote parties down there and up here. And I asked him, I said, well, what kind of guy was he? He said he's a real cool dude, man. He said he was actually a nice guy. He just, I hate to say it, but Ron Goldman was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Messing with the wrong chick.
I remember someone, like a couple, I think I knew or I met once, they told a story that they were in Hawaii on their honeymoon and they met this other couple that was on their honeymoon. And so they like hung out, just having to hang out that week together because they were sharing this. And they had pictures together and stuff. And then find out that couple was Scott and Lacey Peterson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy? And they had like pictures with them and shit hanging out on their honeymoon.
Dude, all right, this is really weird right now. No shit. Because there was a lady at work yesterday, very odd woman, right? Very odd, kind of strange. She literally sitting there and asked someone at some point, asked one of my crew members, she goes, is this the bay where Scott Peterson dumped Lacey Peterson's body? Swear. I'm sitting here like, I'm like, how weird, what kind of a question is that? Like, is this the place where somebody who was killed was dumped? It's like, what? And then you bring up some couple in the
Did you point out where? Did you take her to the spot?
No, of course not.
That's not on the tour?
No, it's not on the tour.
It's not that was in part of the bay. It was like on the other side, right?
Yeah, it was on the Berkeley Marina side.
Yeah, right. The bay is huge, lady. The bay is huge. But
dude, that's nuts, man. OJ, Ron Goldman, Lacey Peterson.
I forgot I had can you see this? I had Dwan in my movie.
Oh, okay.
And there's Joe. That's Joe.
Oh, is that Joe? That's your old roommate, Joe?
Yeah. This is part, and then there's Dwan.
Hold up. This is
you
back
can't
before,
hear it though, huh?
Yeah. This is the part. This is back before Joe was racist. He just shared a joint with somebody. Dude, you can go back and show him, like, dude, you used to be cool. See?
Yeah.
Used to puff pass with brothers. Yo, man, racist Joe. What's up, racist Joe? You out there listening?
Yeah, probably not. I don't know what happened. I should try to get him on the pod.
Who, racist Joe?
I saw there was a guy.
We're gonna call him, and then we're gonna call him racist. Hey,
that'd
racist
be awesome,
Joe.
Dude. That's how you get some hits. That's what Stern used to do. Just have like people call in, and be like, "All right, so this week we got racist Joe calling in. Hey, RJ, how's it going?"
Hey, man. First off, I just want to say, hey, racist. There's nothing wrong with loving my own kind, loving the people that look like me. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, what is it about loving yourself that makes you hate other people? Well, I mean, it's just that we better than everybody else. I mean, I can't love I ain't got enough love for nobody else. I can only love
maybe
me and people that look like me.
Views. Maybe a nice Puerto Rican woman or something got with him and changed
Dude,
his views.
I'm
I
gonna tell
don't
you
know.
right now, damn that I specifically know of a couple white guys that date, are married. One like married to an Asian woman, two guys that I know, white guys, both married to different types of Asian women, and both of those dudes have severe, serious problems with Asians. Right, like it's that thing of like, I don't hate Asian people. I mean, look, my wife is Asian, my children are half Asian, I love Asian people. And then you hear them say some dumb shit and you go, the fuck? No, it's the same thing. I can't be
Like what?
racist.
What's some dumb shit they say?
Just stuff like,
I'd be surprised because they're married.
hey man, what I'm saying is that don't change nothing. Okay. There've
Was they
been
like
white guys,
complaining
there've
about
been
the
white guys.
driving and shit? What do they
Yeah,
say?
it's either the driving or the country and what they do and what their stereotypes are. And you can't, they can't do this and they can't do that, and they're like this and they're like that. And you go, dude, hold up, isn't your wife Asian? Yeah, but I mean, it's not the same. I mean, I'm not racist in that. I'm just saying this is how they are. I go, no, that's fucking racist.
So you know what that is? That's because the Asians are the majority in SF. So that's why,
Look,
you see more people. You see more people get racist towards them.
you
And then
can
the
say
fucking
whatever you
COVID
want.
didn't help either. That was,
Oh, I had a friend in Alabama who had a shirt on. She was on Facebook. She had a shirt on that said, "I survived the China virus," or some shit like that.
Reg, you gotta pick better friends.
Hey man, I knew her in high school, but I saw that. My buddy pointed out to me. My buddy pointed out to me, and he was like, "Yo, man, yo, she's racist, bro." And I was like, "Well, hold up, man." I was like, "We've known her like more than half our lives." I was like, "She ain't racist." I said, "If anything, she's ignorant. I don't think she understood like the implication of
Doing
that shit."
racist shit.
Yeah. Now look, but she, I didn't think she was racist. But hey, people do dumb shit all the time, man. Like there've been white guys married to black women who are like, I mean, not all black people are, black people are. It's like, dude, do not talk about what you think it is just because whatever. But yo, damn that. Listen, so I go see Bill Burr.
Oh,
Right?
how about that?
How about that? So he does a
Here it
pop-up
is,
show.
right here, man. Right there it is.
Me and the man. Hold up. Where's the other? You got the picture from he and I years ago too? Do I have that one?
Oh man, what am I? A
Okay.
librarian over here? I'm not your, I'm not your personal paparazzo.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so there's me and Billy Wilford Burr, and this was at the end of the night after hanging out. Like after his show, he goes outside. He's smoking a cigar, and it's Bartnick is there, his opener, Bianca is there, and then not really much staff, but like the Live Nation people.
One show.
He did just one, yes, just one. So it was a pop-up show, right? He announced it that day, and I kind of got the heads up prior to, so I kind of knew something was happening. I just didn't know what was going to happen. But I'm sitting there, man, watching at the end of the show. Well, first off, before he goes up, he comes out the green room. I'm sitting right there by the green room, where all the comics sit. And he hits me he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? It's been a while." I was like, "Oh, how you doing, Bill? It's good to see you, man." He's like, "Hey, good to see you too. All right, cool. How you doing? Good." So we chop it up for a minute. And then he's like basically getting ready, go use the restroom, come back, and then he walks on stage. So it was cool that he, and I've seen him prior to this on numerous occasions as well, but it was kind of nice for him to, to recognize like that. But after the show, I'm sitting there and, people are filing out. And this lady comes up to me, Ara, I think her name was Ara, a black woman. She comes up and she goes, "Hey, Reggie." And I go, "Hi." And she goes, "I listen to the podcast."
Shut up.
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
wow.
Man. Yeah, I was like, man, thank you so much. I'm like, cool. I was like, oh, it's super cool. I was like, well, hold up, because I didn't know her. I had never seen her before. I go, well, I mean, do you know Sal? Like, how do you know about the podcast? And she knew you, like she knew of you. At least she had maybe seen you perform.
Is this who is it? Is this one of the sisters, Ada and Ernestine Harrison?
Oh, I don't know. Kind of she was a shorter African American woman, short black woman.
Yeah,
with short
maybe.
Hair. Okay.
Was it short? I don't know. I don't know.
Short. Her hair was short at this time.
I've known them for years.
Okay.
And but maybe it's that. Maybe it's someone else. I don't know. But then maybe you sounded like with the name you weren't really sure. But
Yeah.
that's
Hey, either way it goes, man. I would.
any.
It
Did you
wasn't
get
even so much
any
about.
feedback? Did you learn anything?
Well, this is what I said. I said, I was like, thank you so much for everyone who's listening. Thank you so much for listening. Right. And I said to her, I said, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And I go, and if you have any constructive criticism, like any feedback, please, or if you want to ask anything, I mean, I implore all of our listeners to, if there's something that they want to hear, don't be afraid to be like,
You
hey,
told her
you
this whole
guys,
long speech, dude.
no, it wasn't that long. Right.
All
It
right,
was
so
just
go
like,
on. All right,
yeah,
that's
it was
good though, because
so
that's a good thing to ask, because I
yeah,
too would be
exactly.
curious, like
Yeah, because I'm like the people who are
why is it
listening.
going so bad?
This guy, you see this guy? It's not going back. I think it's going great. I love it. I love it, and I think the people who are listening are enjoying it too. So, props
All
to
right,
you guys for
so
tuning
what
in.
was the feedback?
She didn't. She just said that she liked it. She just said I really enjoy it, and I said, well, if you have any feedback, then please feel free to please give us that, like comment or ask us any questions that you're curious about.
Yeah, because I do remember one of them posting that they saw Bill, so I'd imagine that was that show. Yeah, how'd he do? He's
Okay.
good, huh?
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Good
He had
set
a
there.
he had a good set. He had a couple moments that were cringeworthy. It was cool to talk to him about his set afterwards because he's like, yeah, I keep losing the audiences on this one part, and I just immediately go into Reggie comedian mode, and I'm like, well, I think Bill, I was like, I said it's a pretty intense topic, but I was like, basically without giving anything away, he's talking about one thing, and then he introduces what the same thing is in the opposite sex. It's something about women. And then he introduces, well, that's the same as this over here.
Right.
But the problem is he kind of goes through this whole big thing. And then he introduces the issue with the guy. And then it's just that. I was saying that if he started with this, because the moment he throws out what it is, you're going to lose half the room immediately. I'm telling you right now, you're going to lose half the room and they're going to be of the female persuasion for the most part. And then the guys are sitting there
funny,
like this.
He's been doing it so long and he's doing so well now that he's like, he's pushing to try something even harder. Like, okay, this isn't supposed to be funny, but I'm gonna make it funny. Like that's such the fun part of it. It seems.
And I'm sitting there like this, like listening to it. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I was like, whoa, all right, I'm like, yo, that's funny as hell. But whoo, okay. So what I said, I was thinking, if he starts with this, and once he starts to feel that tension, if he introduces what the opposite of it is, right? If he introduces that earlier, then it feels feels like it's
even.
this. Yeah,
I get that.
Is this
so he tell
versus,
you you're wrong and go fuck yourself, or no? What happened?
No, he was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it. He's like, he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it. I just, he's like, it just hasn't worked out the way. And I'm like, yo, it's funny. I said it's cringeworthy, but it's funny as hell.
Right.
The other one was, we got a chance to talk about his set, and I was like, yo, I love the fact that it looked like you had things that you wanted to talk about, but then you kind of went off on some stuff. And he goes, oh yeah. He's like, but that's the fun stuff. He's like, that's when I'm having the most fun, right? Because he went off on a couple tangents that he just went into. And I tell you right now, Sal, if these were tangents, they were so developed, so good, so tight, that I was like, yo, this is it. And then he would go through it and go, all right, yeah, okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, that's right.
It's
like
great
back
to
back
work,
to Calgary.
to watch him work. Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
I remember one time he went off on some tangent and he was talking about, he never would talk about his family much, like his dad and stuff in the beginning. And then he told this thing about his dad and his mom. And I'm not gonna say his bit because he said it purposely only live, you know what I mean?
Right,
but it was like that. It was like kind of Christian, but funny. And I was like, damn. And then I think I've seen a special more recently. He did talk about his dad more now and his family, but he's definitely it was great to see. And then you're like, whoa, wow, that wasn't even planned. Like you could tell it was just off the cuff.
Off the cuff. Dude, afterwards, we stayed outside, all of us, and talked for, it had to be a good hour or so, right? And we talked about the dogs that he had growing up, and then the pit bull that he had, and what happened to her. And
they passed away, right?
I
think she passed.
Well, they had eventually, Eventually, she
Yeah,
did.
because I
Eventually,
remember
but
they
they
had that
to.
whole bit on that dog. It was great. I remember she
Oh,
got the dog when he was out of town.
yep. He
And
told
then he
that
comes
story,
back, and the dog is there. I'm so
dude.
fucking scared of a pit bull.
Hey man, he told that story. It was hilarious. I mean, I saw the joke out loud
Uh,
live, but then to hear him tell it in real life about his experience showing up in that dog, like he's like, I'm not gonna. And then he had a moment playing with. It, he's like, I love this fucking dog. I love this dog. My favorite part of that joke is when he's walking down the street. He's like, I don't know what black people talk about. Like, I walk down the street, everyone crosses the street, right? He's like, yo, that's not a bad. I love that. Like, I got, like unimpeded walking or whatever. So, but it was good, man. It was really good to see him. And energetically, my man brings it. Comedically, he brings it. And it was fun to be able to hang out with him. Listen to him,
he's
watch him do
always
his thing.
cool. He's always nice too, man.
And hold
He's
up,
always been cool.
yeah, absolutely. And then I gotta go. I gotta give props to Joe Bartnick.
Yeah, old
Bartnick,
Mustache Joe, huh?
yeah, man. Joe's looking
How
good.
do you do?
He did well. He did well based on what I heard the people say to him because I got there a little late, so I didn't see his set. But everyone,
okay.
like afterwards, people kept coming up, was like, "Hey, man, I've seen you a couple times, and this is like one of the best sets I've seen you have." So I was like, "All right, Joe." He was like,
and I
so
saw
good.
them all. They all went to Candlestick, and they watched Motley Crue and
Yeah, I saw.
Poison and all kinds of people. They had pictures of Tommy
It was
Lee.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue,
Okay.
and
And
Poison.
Scorpion, and that's where you put that picture because you saw it from the water and all
I
the
saw it
smoke
from the
and
water.
shit coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew he was going to. I knew they were going because he also talked about jamming with Eddie Van Halen. We went into the details about that whole thing. They talked about Tommy Lee. It was awesome, man. But shout out to Joe Bartnick, man. Super excited for him. He taped his special, and it's in post right now.
Nice.
And
Yeah, I remember he did my show right before he went to record it.
Okay, and I think Bill directed it.
Yeah.
So, and also Bill and I talked about a project that he directed that's in post right now. He had a couple reshoots, but that's gonna be coming soon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Joe's special, man.
So wait, when
first.
did you get Bill to do the pod? When is he doing our podcast now? Because you had all that time to talk with him, so I figured it had to come up at least.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
3-4 times.
Basically, he told me to have my people call his people.
Though he's one of the first people to do my pod when I originally did it, and then the microphone broke. The microphone didn't record the rest of it. I had this new, it was really new. It was this little iPod. I remember we sat down. The first thing he said was like, I thought you're doing a fucking podcast here. What is this? I was like, it works. And
you're gorilla podcasting it.
And I was doing it in between his like shows or something in the green room. And then in between, and then like we get the recording and it had like the first 3 minutes and then it just, dude, and I lost it, and I was so bummed. Like he was talking to me and Angela about like his writing process and shit,
and you lost all of that.
Yeah, then I did another episode with him later, and I got that. But yeah, man, I was really frustrated with that.
Okay, well, real quick, let me just finish this. Big up to Joe Bartnick for just being awesome and cool, man. It's good to see him.
Yeah, man. Joe goes all over the world with them.
I know he and Joe are like two peas in a pod, man. So yeah, man, it was great. It was good to hang out and to see him. And that's come on, man. As comedians, that's we love the performance, we love the show, right? We love watching the masters do their thing, but getting that chance to hang out and talk and have those real connections, those real conversations, that's when you really get to see you get to see the creative process and you get to find out like where it starts, where it comes from.
Right. Whoops, my bad.
Hot woman disadvantage. Oh boy.
Oh, that was a joke I was working at.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, that joke is very in line with the cringeworthy topic that Bill was talking about.
Hey man, that's probably why I liked a lot of stuff. No, they got to push. People like to push the envelope, but it depends. But we'll see.
I mean, it's not pushing. He pushing it. He ain't on no Dave Chappelle shit, but he's definitely pushing it in a way that is like it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see how it fully develops. That's it.
All right, here, listen to this. Can you hear this?
Angela podcast, which will be for May 27th.
Is that too quiet?
Coming from the Punchline Comedy.
Turn it up a little bit.
Hey everyone, Sal. Angela podcast, which will be for May 27th. Coming from the Punchline Comedy Club Green Room. with our special guest, Angela. Who is that special guest?
Comedian Bill Burr, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Do I have to literally lean in?
Well, it helps.
They gotta pick it up.
This is fucking ridiculous.
All right,
You told me I was doing a podcast.
This is just, you used to use
No, it
the
doesn't work.
It works.
It doesn't work in a way that's comfortable.
It'll sound great. You used to use
hunch over.
You used to use your phone.
My
You gotta
phone,
hunch over.
and a phone is designed for that. This isn't designed for three fucking people.
I'm trying. It's good.
I'm not
Oh.
huddling over this like the
No,
fire's
it's
going
fine.
out.
It'll
Freezing.
pick it up.
He's killing you guys. This is awesome.
What do you use now for your Monday morning podcast?
He's got the mic and a mixer,
Yeah,
right?
I got a mic, a Olympus LS10, and I got a mixer.
But you didn't always have that.
No, I didn't, but I had a phone, but I didn't have three people huddled around my phone.
So we're getting
Ah.
there, bro.
How many-
Dude, that's great.
how much
Keep that,
space
dude.
do we have?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to see where it
Their
ends.
equipment
Hold
is-
What
on.
happened? Oh, that was.
Oh, here we go. All right, so
on
right here.
eBay. You know how many people try to do podcasts and they fail?
He's talking about podcasts, and then
their equipment is up on eBay. Just buy it then.
All right. Getting
Jesus,
scolded in the
I
beginning.
thought-
And that's
Oh,
it.
what was that? What happened? That was Bill Burr on our podcast. I talked for about 34 minutes. We discussed, how Bill writes.
that was
When
bad,
Bill was going
dude.
through a writer's block. We were talking about the Cavs versus the Celtics. All kinds of great ball busting material for a good 34 minutes. And my fucking microphone only picked up a minute and a half of it, folks.
Oh.
A minute and a half of one of the greatest comedians in this country.
That was bad, dude. That was hot. So
I love
yeah,
the-
dude.
I love the fact that you were aware of how serious of a disaster this was.
I was
Like,
depressed. I was,
oh,
and this is before podcast wasn't really big yet. Yeah, like big enough yet where like it was something that you'd have to plug in. Like you couldn't do it on the phone, and there was no voice memos yet or any of that shit. You know what I
right.
mean? So like,
damn.
anyway, dude, yeah, it was,
I love the ball busting though. That is hilarious. I'm not leaning over this thing hunched over. Oh man, well that was great. At least you did get a chance to work with him at some point later. We worked with him once. or
Yeah, I
twice.
worked with them before that. I got
Okay.
to work with them because it was kind of cool. I got to choose because I worked with somebody in Sacramento and I really, really complained about who I worked with. And I was like, you got me with this cornball. And like we're friends enough with the booker where we could text her and make
Right,
fun.
right.
She's cool. It was like, I was like, you fucking kidding me? So then it was ridiculous. So then she's like, all right, I'll make it up to you. He's like, you get to choose. You got Bill Burr or Louis C.K. And I took Bill Burr, and to this day, I'll still text
made
him
the right
once in a while,
choice.
get to chill. Yeah, I mean, Louis went a whole other route,
Yeah,
and
you
Louis
made the
blew
right
up,
choice.
but then Louis, yeah,
Yeah, you made the right choice. You
And,
could have made that left in Albuquerque, but you kept straight.
yeah,
good
yeah.
for
So it was cool.
you.
But
Okay.
anyway, man, so that's it.
All right,
What
so
else
on to
would
the
you wanted
next-
to close? Oh well, I mean, I guess
there's
we
a
could
couple
talk about the
things.
Queen.
Well, no,
Football's
no,
back, bro. How about that shit?
Say what?
NFL football's back. I had
Oh.
Josh Allen starting yesterday. He kicked ass for me. Cam Akers, though, folks. Ugh, that might be a big bust. I had him going in my other league. 3
Cam-
carries, 0 yards.
Are you? How's that
And
even
I picked
possible?
him in the second round. He's my second pick.
Wait. You talking about fantasy right now?
Yeah, baby. You gotta
Okay.
get in on it.
I just don't
You don't really
enough of
watch
it.
football, do you?
Yeah, I don't. I'm not.
You
I'm
don't have
not
a
a-
team though.
I'm
That's
not a-
because you're from Alabama.
I'm not a man's man.
No, it's not with that. If you grew up in
Dude,
you
I grew up
played
in
basketball
Alabama.
too,
Alabama's football
Yeah.
country.
but you college football.
Yeah.
I mean,
We had the Atlanta
Cleveland is all
Falcons next
about the
door.
Browns.
Yeah, I mean, look, I played sports.
Went to
I
Browns
enjoy
games
watching.
as a kid.
I enjoy watching football, right? But I'm not planning my schedule around. Like I know guys right now that they're like, I'm not taking this shift because I can't work on Sundays because I need to be
Right.
available to watch football, right? Or they're like, I won't be here next weekend because there's a football game on. I'm like, you leaving real money on the table to go watch people who make exponentially more money than you? There's no way.
It's
There's no
enjoyable
way.
though. I do love watching. It's enjoyable, dude. You can work around that.
Tell me this. Let's talk about this. because I'm not a fan. Like I enjoy the games and I enjoy, players and things like that. But I would never consider myself a fan. Like I don't own hats and t-shirts and I own, little balls and I don't buy season tickets. I mean, I
Oh,
can
you
get
own
tickets.
little balls.
Say what?
You own little balls. Don't be
Baseballs.
lying.
Baseballs.
You don't need to lie, Craig. You don't need to lie.
But the point being is, what is it, man? Is it like, is there some connection to your childhood?
Well, there's a
like,
lot. Well, yeah, there's a lot. I grew up on it. Like,
was your dad
like,
really into it?
my dad was really into it. So that's the
Okay.
first thing. It's the only thing you can connect with your father on is
booyah.
football. So that's big.
Didn't have a dad.
Then,
Thanks for bringing that up.
yeah, and no problem. Mine's dead. So then there's the Browns.
Actually, hold on. No. My biological father is actually still alive and living in Flint, Michigan.
That's right.
So which one is worse? To have a dad who's dead that's not here, or have one that's alive who don't talk to you? No, I'm joking. All right, go ahead. So you connect with your dad.
Wait, what was I saying?
Connect with your dad.
The Cleveland. Well, and the Browns are big there. Like everybody's, and I always make fun. Like cities were like Cleveland, where like you got winter and stuff. You're inside a lot. There's a lot less to do. The sporting community is huge. Like it's just big part of it. So even my dad, an immigrant who didn't know shit about the sport, got into it. He got into Cleveland Browns. So yeah, that was all a big part of it. And then I like the game. Like, so I used to play organized football. I played backyard football all the time. And I love the game. And then even last night I'm watching the game, like, oh wow, great catch. Oh, wait, that great play, the way you get open, right. Bam, bam, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, just for the record, as a kid, I played football. I never played organized football, but I played with the kids in my neyborhood. Like the older kids would always be quarterback, and then the rest of us were like wide receivers. Right? Yeah, no real blockers or anything. You just couldn't. You could rush the quarterback after like so many.
Yeah, like
seconds.
a 5 alligator. That was our rule.
Yeah, exactly. So I played that, and I loved that. Right, I enjoyed playing with my friends. Yeah. Right, it was fun, but never really got into it. Like, and I didn't have a dad around. Like, there was no male figure around the house I was trying to connect with who was watching this thing.
Right. I mean, I played it for 4 years, but I didn't like getting hit, and I didn't really care about hitting. Like, I played receiver and corner, so that was like, that is less. Though I'll tell you, man, when you're a cornerback and you see a big fucking running back break through the linebackers after the line, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm all that's left." Hell no.
So wait, let me get this. So you could say that a part of fandom is like some like happy memories to childhood, but also like some sense of community, right?
Community like too, man. Like some people are really into it, man.
So it's something that people can collectively all get behind and support.
Yeah, I'll tell you this would really open me up a lot. People always want to clown on sports and stupid shit, dumb jock stuff, and it's funny. Like, I really like people who are liberal sports fans. Okay. Right. And, especially football, and that's hard to find usually football. You think so? No, yeah, I was trying to look up my. But when I worked at the ballpark in Cleveland, the Cleveland Indians at the time, now the Guardians, they did really well. Okay, in the 90s, and they I saw 2 World Series, 95 and 97, but 95, it hadn't been done since 1954. They lost. The last time they won was 1948. That's still the last time they won, was 1948. It's the longest drought now in baseball after the Cubs have beat us, which was another crazy thing. So but the city, I was going to college downtown in the city. I was working at the ballpark, and I'm always downtown, and black, white, very segregated. Everybody together. People wearing all kinds of baseball stuff, Cleveland stuff, saluting, giving high fives in the street. It was like literally like Major League. It was a whole new different energy I never felt before in the city. And it is community. And then you see almost 1.5 million, 2 million people at downtown when the Cavs had their parade. Right. Come on, man.
Okay,
it's a whole it's a community is probably a big fucking part of it.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned it just like that, because this is one of my issues around collegiate sports and fandom, right? You talk about relations, race relations, in the sense that everybody's coming together to do a thing, right? My issue is this, and I see this with with Alabama football. Look, man, in the South, in Birmingham, in Alabama, it is Roll Tide, Crimson Tide, Alabama football, University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa. Everybody wants their kid to go there, right?
Right.
And you'll see these games, and you'll see black people, white people, they all dress the same. They're all cheering for the same team. They got a common goal, Alabama football win, right?
Right.
And you would think that being able to come together in these moments of celebration to support a team, somebody, a team that a lot of them didn't even go to Alabama, right?
Yeah.
I'm even gonna say a lot. I'd say the majority of them did not go to the University of Alabama. They did not play football. They are not affiliated. But because Alabama football does well, then they all support Alabama football, black people and white people. Where in the South, traditionally, black people and white people don't get along, but they can get along to support Alabama football. That's for damn sure, right? And you would think,
go ahead. Yeah.
And so you would think that being able to come together to support this team and these players and this school and this, this whatever, that it would help with the relations between black people and white people. And I tell you right now, they come together for the game and then they go apart once it's over. There's white people in Alabama that don't have no black friends, and there's black people in Alabama that don't have no white friends.
They're very segregated. Like
it's
that was
very
the thing.
segregated.
Like, if
they all come together for Alabama football.
Yeah, if I didn't work and go to school downtown where the only place for black and white meets, I wouldn't. Yeah, I've had any of these experiences. You know what I mean?
Right.
And no matter how much you believe in your heart what's good and what's right, until I think you actually hang out with people of all different backgrounds and cultures and sexual orientations, then can we relate to everybody? It's just fucking stupid, man.
Well,
I'm so over it. It's just so hard for me to believe that people have it all caught up everywhere.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's all theoretical until you actually do it, right? Yeah. It's all theoretical. So that's one of my issues that I have, is that I'm like, and then, I got my own personal issues with the history of Alabama and the history of black people and white people in Alabama. And then to see how everybody come together, because I got tons of friends that I grew up with that are hardcore Crimson Tide Alabama fans. And I'm just like, I ain't mad at them, right? I'm not mad at them. But for me, I can't do it. My high school coach turned me against Alabama football big time.
Really?
Oh man. Coach Scoggins was like, he said, Alabama, University of Alabama. He would say this. These are direct quotes what I'm about to say.
This is the St. Mary's coach? Which coach?
No, this is my high school coach. Coach Willie Scoggins. Light-skinned dude with green eyes. Coach Scoggins used to say all the time, Alabama don't care nothing about them black boys down there. All they want them to do is be able to run that ball. They don't care about them getting an education. They don't care about them having the means to make a living. All they wanted, they get them down there for 4 years. They run them and then they let them go. You know how many black boys that went to Alabama and didn't graduate, couldn't read, right? Didn't have an education, but somehow they was in college for 4 years and was able to play football, but left Alabama illiterate. He would tell stories about this guy played at Alabama and he worked at a gas station and he's an attendant and he don't have a degree and he can't read and can't write. Jesus. And so you start hearing that shit growing up. You hear that and you go, wait, where was this at? Alabama football? They just using brothers for their athleticism and they ain't getting nothing in exchange for it. Right. Yeah. So
hopefully, that was, a long time ago. Hopefully it's gotten better. Now you could pay. People are going to start to be able to make money.
Yeah. But it's just about the education though. Because Paul Bear Bryant, and then also don't even get it twisted. Paul Bear Bryant was, the dude was racist. He gave nothing about, he could care less about black dudes. And then this is the story. He didn't want any black guys on the team because of anti-segregation or whatever. And then he went over to Mississippi, and Mississippi had found that brothers was fast and strong and went over there and beat the dog shit out of him. And he was like, I got to get some of them on my team. And then, once he started getting brothers on the team, then it changed again. Right.
I was talking about buddy football, as much as people make fun, it broke the racial barrier before baseball did.
Yeah, that's true. But hey man, brothers is fast.
All right, Reg,
athletic.
wrap us up, man. Close us
Being
out.
athletic. Okay. So we covered everything. We talked about the Heat. We talked about Bill
Yeah,
Burr.
man. Yeah.
We talked about running into a fan at the show. And
Yeah.
last, two things. One, the Queen of England passed after 70 years of being the head of the monarchy. 96
I mean,
years
some
old.
people shitting on like, oh, they're inbred slavers, and I'm like,
Well, dude,
this old lady did it.
Hold
People
up, this
liked her.
is-
Some people liked it. She
dude,
wasn't doing it herself. What do you want?
dude, I was just about to say that. I was like, there is never a good time to die. I swear to God, it's not. Because one hand, like you just said, some people are like, oh, the queen has passed and she was here and she was there and she did this and she helped out that. And then for every person who's like, she was a wonderful person and really kind and sweet and whatever else, there's somebody in the background was like, she's a fucking colonizer. I'm glad she's dead, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, they did some fucked up shit, but
yeah, but I mean, she kept it. Look, she didn't start that shit, right? She didn't start it, but she kept it going, right? So, do we say rest in peace to the queen?
I guess with King Charles now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, their kids now are Prince and Princess, because there's an old law that when the king's grandkids automatically become Prince and Princess.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well,
So
that's good.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Good for
they
them.
weren't in it initially, so now I guess there it is.
Okay,
But
so that's good.
it's funny, people. It's funny, like, because that guy was like, I think it was the old dude Philip who passed away last year.
Yeah.
Who had problems with the race thing, and then you see their kids now. I just saw pictures earlier.
They look white as
they're white and redhead as a mofo, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Meghan Markle is
Irish soccer team.
Meghan Markle she's black, or I take the quotation back. She's black. She has her mom is black.
You can't
whatever.
do that, Reg.
No,
that's wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Edit that part out. I tell you,
no,
we
all make mistakes.
Yeah, so she's black.
But look, man, if I was as dark as you, I might say the same thing. You might
offended. No. This is not about her color, right? It's not about her color or even her personality, attitude. It's just, it's whatever. Because it was more of a sense of like they were trying to say she was black. Yeah, and it's like for them, I don't even. Am I painting myself into a corner right here? Their issue, I mean, you look at Meghan Markle, like the fact that they had an issue with her being black or of black descent to some degree, and then you look at her and you kind of go, you really have a problem with just her having a black mom, because there's not a part of, you know what I mean? But whatever.
But we've talked about, like, because I remember you said when you were in school, you didn't have a little beef with the guy who was the lighter skinned dude because he got all the girls.
No, I didn't have a beef. That was my best friend. Billy Shepard. That was my best. Me and Billy, I still.
Well, you had a problem that the girls didn't like you, as well.
No, I didn't have a problem. It was just that when the girls then, they was all into the light-skinned dudes. And my boy Billy was fair skinned. But he and I both got teased equally. We just responded differently. Oh man, listen, as being dark as a kid, I was considered the darkest thing ever. Like I was the blackest thing on earth before Wesley Snipes. Right.
So you're saying you could be too dark or too light and catch
that's
shit.
The thing.
There's like a certain shade you're supposed to be.
Well, I hate to say it, if you wanted the history lesson, there's a brown paper bag rule, right? Like if you were dark, if you were darker than the brown paper bag, then you worked in the fields. And if you were lighter than that, you got to be in the house, the fields and the house. If you were the lighter you were, the easier it was for you to pass. Right, because you could be around white people and they wouldn't be threatened because you looked like them or you were just as light as they were. So for me, I got teased for being too dark because it's our podcast. I'm a field nigga, right? I'm a field nigga, right? Because I'm big and I'm black and I'm gonna be outside in the sun busting up the shift row. And Billy was fair skinned, right? He's both his parents are black, but he's light skinned. But then Billy got teased for being too light. Billy was called white. You're like, oh man, you a white boy, you white boy. So there's a point where you go, well, what is it? Is it too black or if it's too light? Right. And so so Billy was the girls loved him. He was, he was a brown skinned dude and had a little mustache. He was a handsome kid, man. He was a good looking kid. We were all in great shape. But at the time, the light skinned brothers was popular. And then Mo Better Blues came out, and then Wesley Snipes was seen getting that ass, and they was like, He was like, them dark skinned brothers, like they bringing that mandingo. So
I do remember when I was in Venezuela and we met some people and people who were from, like you're right, the people who worked out in the fields more, the rural area had darker skin and looked, and then there were some very light skinned white Venezuelans
right.
who
And
lived in the nicer
and
areas
exactly. And they're supposed to be affluent. I mean, look, man, in some Asian countries, man, they don't want to be dark at all. Like they bleach their skin. They walk around with umbrellas in the sun because they don't want to be darker, because a fairer skin is seen as being more popular or like nicer, or it seems like you're wealthy or better in some
I don't
ways,
like
right?
translucent. You can't be looking like Colgate. That's too much, man.
Yeah, it's
that's
too much.
I look too white right now, but I'm Italian. You can't tell with this big old spotlight on me.
You're a little
I'm
you're
usually
a little
not
pasty.
I don't look usually look too, I mean, I don't hang out in the sun all day, but I do a little. I got nice. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up, dude. Come
Hold
on,
up,
I'm
man.
hot.
There was one more thing that I wanted to say.
As always.
It was
Go
the
ahead.
Queen. I wanted to say RIP to the Queen of England and
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
who supports her. Sorry for your loss. And then for those people who hate her, hey, happy you got what you wanted, right? The last one I want to say is yesterday, a comedian by the name of David A. Arnold passed away. And I'd like to just say condolences to his family and his friends. We know people who knew him personally.
Right.
I know people who knew him personally. I never got a chance to meet David A. But I recall seeing him over the years in a lot of different places. And it was kind of sad to see him pass. I don't know how he passed, but they said he passed away peacefully at home with the doctors and his family by his bed, which leads you to believe that there was some illness. But
Right.
David A. Arnold has been around for a very long time. He was a very successful comedian in the sense that he was able to maintain his livelihood as a comedian. Doesn't mean that he was all world and he was the most famous comic. It just meant that he was able to sustain his livelihood and take care of his family with his artistry of being a comedian.
Right.
So I knew I used to see him early on the chitlin circuit, like black shows, black comedy shows, BET, things like that. And then he disappeared for a long time. I didn't see him. And I didn't think much of it because, everyone has their 15 minutes or whatever, right? But he was busy. He was writing for different shows, different movies. He created a show for Netflix. for Nickelodeon that was very popular that he wrote and directed and produced, I think. And then just recently in the last few years, he became really popular again. He dropped his first Netflix special in 2019. Then he had another special in 2021, and his star was on the rise. And he was actually supposed to be at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco in the next week or so, because he just started a tour. And I was actually going to go see him. Yeah, I was actually going to go see him. And then I heard that he passed last night, unexpected. And so I just want to say condolences to his friends and family, and RIP to David A. Arnold. And from everything I've heard, he's a really nice guy. Really,
everybody's sharing a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah,
So that's always cool to see.
So yeah,
all right, well, good job, Reg.
Thank you. All right, Sal, you too. It's fun to see you in your tank top. Makes me feel like I'm like, this dude need to get in the gym.
I used to wear hoodies, bro. I'll just sweat it off. Let's wrap it up.
Can you do some shoulder raises or military press or something? I just want you to look like you can defend yourself.
Look at that, man. America. All right, let's go, fool.
All right, dude, let's do it. Hey, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We had a lot of fun doing it, as usual. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any comments, we'd love to hear it. Constructive criticism is always welcome. And also, if there's something you want to hear,
Harrison sisters.
Yes, and if there's something you want to hear, or something, or a question, or anything you want us to address, please feel free to ask that. All right. So with that being said, that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.